Hey Anne, it's Gary Lewis here, old Colum Mackenzie, the Laird of Leach from Outlander, giving you a big hello. Now Anne, I understand you were due to visit Scotland just before your birthday, but then COVID-19 struck and the whole world changed. So that's not so good. I'm sure you would have had a lovely time here, but today I'm going to try and at least send some good wishes and good cheer to you from here in Scotland. So what I thought I would do, well, oh, by the way, Molly told me that your mum was from Glencraig, which I've got to tell you, Glencraig is, I know Glencraig, it's only about 15-20 minutes from a place called Thornton, which, like Glencraig, was a very small mining village in Fife. And the reason I know that is because a few years ago I took part in a film called The Keeper, and I played Jock Thompson, who was at one point the manager of Manchester City Football Club, and he signed a legendary goalkeeper called Bert Trautmann, who was a German prisoner of war. And Jock Thompson, the character I played, came from Thornton, which is just up the road from Glencraig. So Anne, I imagine that your mother must have been from a mining family, because I don't think there was much else there in Glencraig. And so I had an idea. I did a lot of research about history of mining in Scotland, because I played the part of a miner in the film Billy Elliot, and because I was very interested in this too. And I was trying to think of an old Scottish mining song, and then I thought, I actually know an American one. It's not very cheery, but it's a lovely song. And so because you never made it over, and because it's your birthday, and because Molly asked me to, I'm going to sing you a bit of this song called The L&N Don't Stop Here Anymore. It's like it's a similar place, I suppose, in America to Glencraig in Scotland, and that the mine closed down and then everything changed. So this is a bit of a connection then. When I was a curly-headed baby, my daddy sat me down on his knee. Said, son, you go to school, you learn your letters, don't end up no dusty miner like me. I was born and raised at the mouth of the Hazard Hollow, and the coal cars rolling, rumbling past my door. Now they stand in a rusty row all empty, and the L&N don't stop here anymore. Last night I dreamed I went down to the office to get my pay the way I'd done before. Kudzu vines are growing up the doorway, and trees and grass came growing right up through the floor. I was born and raised at the mouth of the Hazard Hollow, and the coal cars rolling, rumbling past my door. Now they stand in a rusty row all empty, and the L&N don't stop here anymore. Yeah, that could have been about Glencraig. I don't think Glencraig had a train station, but There you go. It's not a cheery one, Anne, but yeah, it's specifically for you, so that counts. Also, I thought that because it's late summer here, and it's unusual for us to get this September sunshine here in Scotland, and what it does is it brings out the midges. I don't know if you know about midges. If you come to Scotland in the summer, you have to bring some midgie repellent. Midges are like, they're smaller than mosquitoes, but they're real pests, you know. And this is a poem by Edwin Morgan, who, a Scottish poet, and this is a midgie talking to other female midges. It's called Midgie. And there are some flying around here just now. You might not see them, but I can feel them because they bite you. They bite me. The evening is perfect, my sisters. The loch lies silent, the air is still. The sun's last rays linger over the water, and there is a faint smear, almost a smudge of summer rain. Sisters, I smell supper. And what is more perfect than supper? It is emerging from the wood in twos and threes, a dozen in all, making such a chatter and a clatter as it reaches the rocky shore, admiring the arrangements of the light. See the innocents, my sisters, the clumsy ones, the laughing ones, the rolled up sleeves, and the flapping shorts. There is even a kilt. God of the midges, you are good to us. So gather your forces, leave your tree trunks, forsake the rushes, fly up from the sour brown mosses to the sweet flesh of face and forearm. Think of your eggs. What does the egg need? Blood and blood. Blood is what the egg needs. Our men have done their bit. They've gone. It was all they were good for, poor dears. Now it is up to us. The egg is quietly screaming for supper, blood, supper, blood, supper. Attack, my little Draculas, my Amazons. Look at those flailing arms and stamping feet. They're running, swatting and swearing. Oh, they're hopeless. Keep at them, ladies. This is a feast. This is a midsummer night's dream. Soon we shall all lie down, filled and rich, and lay and lay and lay and lay and lay. Whoa, I love it. I love it. The Midgie by Edwin Morgan. What you might want to get for your birthday from Molly is some of this divine smooth milk chocolate. Fair trade, 70% cocoa. Fantastic and fantastic. I was using that as a bookmark. I also thought, because you deserve it, I would read you a wee bit of a Scottish legend. It's about, it's called Colum and the Silkie. A silkie is a creature which, well, it's a seal which is able to shed its skin and take human form. You maybe already knew that. I'll only read a wee bit. If you want to find out the rest, you can get hold of this. Callum lived in a little cottage beside the sea on the west coast of Scotland. He was a crofter and farmed a tiny patch of land, but he never managed to grow enough to keep himself alive. He had a little fishing boat, and every day he used to take the boat just far enough into the sea to set his lobster pots. He sold most of what he caught, keeping just the smaller shellfish for himself. One evening, Callum was sitting on the beach mending his lobster pots. The sun was red in the sky and was just about to dip into the sea. He thought he heard singing, women's voices singing a strange song. Puzzled, he went towards the rocks from which the voices seemed to be coming. When he got there, he crouched down and peered around the rocks. And what a sight met his eyes. A group of beautiful raven-haired women stood in a circle, singing a strange song that had the sound of the sea. Callum could see something silvery to his right, and when he looked more closely, he saw that it was a pile of sealskins. Gosh, thought Callum, I think they must be silkies. He'd heard stories of how silkies occasionally came on dry land and took human form for an evening, but they always went back to sea before daybreak. I never realised they were so beautiful, he said to himself. There was one silkie in particular that caught his attention. She had a darker, silkier hair and paler, smoother skin than any of her companions. Callum couldn't take his eyes off her. As soon as the dawn began to streak the sky, the silkies stopped singing and made their way over to the pile of sealskins. Callum's beautiful silkie was the last in line, and the other silkies were already putting on their skins when she reached out for hers. Quick as a flash, Callum snatched it before she could grasp it. Please, give me my skin, she begged. Without it, I can't return to the sea. Hey, there's a wee picture of the silkies dancing. It does remind you a bit of the dancing around the standing stones in Outlander. Anyway, Anne, I hope you had a lovely time for your birthday. I hope that Molly showered you with love, good wishes, and maybe even a bit of chocolate. Me, I'm just giving you poetry, legend, and songs, a hug, and lots of warm, good wishes from here in sunny September Scotland. All the very best to you, Anne, and I hope that you make it here sometime, and that we can all look forward to, a more normal time. But in the meantime, be good to yourself, stay safe, lots of love, pal. All the very best. Cheery. Cheery bye.